Looks like you're on YouTube. I don't know about Facebook yet.
Hello, YouTube friends.
Hello.
Let me...
I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook where you can eat better, spend less. And today we are showing you how to make homemade oatmeal, let me try that again. Today we are showing you how to make homemade oatmeal muffins.
You're going to have to say it a third time.
These easy homemade oatmeal muffins will make your flour last longer.
Alright, hey Facebook, how are you guys doing today? Alright, say that again please.
Hello!
Hello, friends.
Oh, we gotta get it together. We're not together
Happy
today.
keeping it together day.
Get together, people. We have a lot going on and all our brains are just completely fried. Because while the rest of the world is taking a vacation, we are just plowing along some more, aren't we?
Yep.
Our lives really haven't changed. So, except we have a 6-month summer vacation this year.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. All right. I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook. Today, if you have this edition of Dining on a Dime, the hardcover with the color pictures, we are on page 89. Any printing other than this, it is not on page 89. Any printing after this, it won't be on page 89. When you have a book for 20 years, you have many editions.
Actually,
so
all the other 20ths have the same page numbers as this.
they do?
Yeah. So.
Do you promise?
Yep. But they won't
Pressure,
because
did I?
we're changing them
Poke a
to try
needle
to
in your
make it work better for Apple devices that don't want to behave.
Have you never heard that saying?
Why on earth
Oh,
would
my
you
children
poke?
never heard that. That's horrifying.
Your
Yeah, it is, isn't it? All right. Today we are making oatmeal muffins. These easy homemade oatmeal muffins I am showing you because they will make your flour last. Now,
Andrea's on.
flour. Hello, Andrea. Flour is one of the things. You guys give Andrea a big thumbs up and thank you because she proofread along with Goalie our next Dining on a Dime Volume 2. They were our chosen proofreaders.
You ready?
Maybe they can tell you what they... I don't know. What did Andrea think of it? Maybe she didn't like it.
You talked to her, so you'll have to ask.
So I'm showing you how to make homemade oatmeal muffins so that you can stretch your flour. Now, flour is one thing that I'm having a hard time finding. Haven't been to the store in about a week or so, so we haven't looked lately, but flour is one thing that we're stretching, or that we need to stretch. So, because I only have about maybe 15 pounds of flour, maybe is all I have. Flour. Right there. Then you're going to add your quick cooking oatmeal. All right. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Had a brain fart there. All right.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it? Thank you. I'm glad you didn't hear it. And then we're adding our brown sugar. Now guys, when I cook, I don't get out 15 different measuring things. This is a 1/3 cup because I can't find my other 2 at the moment. They're here somewhere, but the kids unload the dishwasher today and I don't know where they put it. So I just did 1.5 of these for a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, okay? All right, and then we've got our salt. And the same goes for my 1 teaspoon measuring. I don't know where it went, so we're just going to use a 1/2 teaspoon. So just use your 3rd grade math skills here. And, oh, whoops, yeah. And so this recipe is in the description below on our website at livingonadime.com. If you guys love our videos, would you please give us a great big thumbs up and subscribe, please. Adding our cinnamon. I do not give the ingredients to my recipes. Do you know why? because we get paid so that we can keep our light bill on when you go to our website to get the recipes. And the recipes are all there, and we even have a printer-friendly version so that you can just print it right out there on your home computer and have your own little recipe binder if you want. Okay, I'm thinking about making a recipe binder printable, guys. What do you think about that? We are actually coming up with, we are redoing a bunch of our ebooks, and we are coming up with a whole bunch of new products. One of them is a recipe binder that I was thinking about doing. Okay, there it is, just all the dry ingredients. Then we're going to add the wet ingredients, our egg. And then the other thing was I was thinking about doing menus as printables also. So I thought that might be a good thing if anybody would like those. Some of those things we just have to test and see how they sell, and then we go from there. And if they sell well, then we keep doing it, and if they don't, then we don't keep selling it. All right, and then our buttermilk. Now, you can use regular milk, which is what I'm doing today, and add tablespoon, I don't know how much I put in there, I just squirted in there, of vinegar to sour your milk. The vinegar helps make it rise.
Barbara wanted to know if they can use bread flour if they don't have all-purpose flour.
Yes, you can. All of our recipes in the book, guys, call for all-purpose flour. And you can use all-purpose flour for pretty much all baking. Okay, please ignore my nasty muffin tin. I need to order me a new one.
It works great.
Mary, that's not a hint. Every time I say something, it shows up on my doorstep 3 days later from Mary. But that wasn't a hint. I'm just saying. I just haven't got it ordered because
So another question: if people don't have sugar, what can we use if they don't have the sugar?
You could use brown sugar. You can use white sugar.
Corn syrup.
You could use honey. Now, it may be a little too liquid, and you may need to add just a bit more oatmeal or a bit more flour. Like, this is kind of runny because I'm making this one gluten-free, dairy-free. And I probably should have added just a bit more oatmeal. We'll see.
It's right there next to you.
Well, I'm kind of actually just wanting to see what it turns out, just like this. Just out of curiosity's sake. So if it's a complete and total flop, you guys are watching recipe testing at its finest. Mike's like, oh, Tara, why do you do this?
Wow. Amy T's offering to send people flour, but she said it would only cost $50 a pound with postage.
Oh, have mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might go scouting the stores here tomorrow or Saturday. I don't know when I'm going to go, but...
Amy says that because she lives in Australia.
Yeah. We have enough food, but if this keeps going on, I'm wanting to make sure that we keep having enough food. So, if it's in stock, I will buy some. All right, so then we're going to stick this in the oven, and we're going to let it bake. There we go. Oops. My recipe testing stuff is still in here from yesterday. So you guys want to hear something funny that happened? Probably not, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So remember how I was having a bad day Monday?
Oh, no.
So after the show, I decided to make bacon for dinner.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you fix that problem yet?
yes, I fixed that problem.
Okay.
So I decided to make it in a foil disposable pan because I had some extras. And I was making it in there. Got on batch number 4 because it was a smaller pan. Batch number 4, go to lift the pan. It buckles in half and I dumped bacon grease all over my oven and down in the bottom. It seeped down where all my pans were. Yeah, that's the way my whole day had been going. I couldn't believe it.
At least you didn't leave it there like the candle wax that one time.
Yeah. All right, so since I have the oven going, I did a test recipe yesterday for no yeast bread, and I'm going to make up some croutons while Mike's giving me some questions.
So Brandy wanted to know, what if we don't? What if we don't have quick oats? We have a ton of steel cut oats that we use for overnight oats, so we never buy the quick ones.
No, that won't work. The steel cut oats you have to soak or cook a really long time. They would just be hard little lumps in your oatmeal. Now, what you could do, now you'd have to experiment, so I don't know the ratios. You just kind of have to look and see if it's a muffin consistency. But what you could do is cook the steel cut oats. And then you may have to reduce your milk a little bit. But you could reduce your steel cut oats you could reduce your milk and use steel cut oats that have been cooked, and that might work. But you can't just use the steel cut oats. No.
And Ilana is asking, is there a way to use dried fruit in these? I have some dried apples that I want to use up.
Yes, so just
stick
chop.
them in there, right?
Yeah, just chop up your dried apples. Now, in these muffins, you can use chocolate chips, you can use cranberries, you can use orange zest, you can use lemon zest, you can use what did she say? Dried fruit. You can use raisins, apricots, anything you want. Cranberries, any of those.
Yum.
As a matter of fact, in Dining on a Dime Volume 2, which is coming out, obviously not at the printer today, like we said. This is why I don't make goals, because whenever I make a goal, I never achieve it. And then I get discouraged, and I'm like, why even try? I said we were sending it to the printer April 1st. Is it at the printer today? No, it's not at the printer today.
We can't afford to go to the hospital, dear. It's a 17-hour wait. For all the asymptomatic people looking for tests.
Oh, have mercy. You said that one, not me.
Cookie Crumb Fun said, Irish soda bread, no yeast and delicious. Wow.
Yes,
Do we
Irish
make
soda
it with
bread.
no yeast?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's really good. Let's see, where is I going with this? Okay, Dining on Dime Volume 2. That's where I was on this. I have in there one muffin recipe, 22 different variations. I also have one grilled cheese recipe coming up in there in like, I don't know how many variations. I don't even remember. Over 20, I think. And the same with, what was the other? There was a couple of them that I did one recipe, but it's variations on that, because people don't realize you can just keep the same recipe like blueberry muffins. There's nothing spectacular about blueberry muffins except you put the blueberries in the muffin. But people always search blueberry muffin recipe. You can take any muffin recipe, basically, and make it into blueberry muffins. So, all right, so I'm cutting these up. I have homemade croutons in Dining on a Dime Volume 1. And this bread did not really turn out like I thought it would. Let's just say all the recipe testers said, if I was starving to death, I'd eat it, but it's fine.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm just chopping up pieces.
That's fine.
So I'm just gonna make croutons out of it. Okay, any other questions?
Yes. I'm not sure which thing Anjanette's referring to, but she says, would you need to increase the baking time because it's a wetter batter? I'm not sure which thing she's talking about.
Yeah, you might if you use the steel cut oats, but the best thing would be add just a little bit of extra flour or a little bit of extra, or a little bit less. Like either a quarter cup more flour or a quarter cup less milk is what I would do.
And Sherry's asking, what about old-fashioned oats? They need longer than quick
Well,
oats, but would they work?
that's the same thing. So old-fashioned oats might work. They might be a little crunchy, and you might need to do the same thing and cook those too, but yeah.
Just cook them halfway.
Yeah, you could probably cook them halfway.
And if you're using fresh or frozen, like blueberries, like the ones we have in the fridge, do you need to reduce the liquid at all? Okay, I just wasn't sure because they have...
No, but if you're using blueberries, if you, I don't know why this bothers people, but people are disturbed by the blueberry juice swirls in muffins. I don't know why that's a problem. But anyway, if you're disturbed by that, you can put the blueberries in flour. So what I would do if I was making them, I would put the flour in, put the blueberries in, the rest of the dry ingredients, and swirl it around. You're technically not supposed to do it that way because you don't want to move the blueberries too much. But if they're frozen, it shouldn't matter.
Okay, so for the people asking about the 17-hour wait, that's Mike's kind of hyperbole. Exaggeration.
He was just joking because we were...
Well, we were talking about how here there are a lot of people that have been kind of demanding to be tested for the virus when there's no indication
And they're
that
not
they
even sick.
have it, and they haven't really been around anybody else.
It's like, save the tests for the people who are actually sick.
So that's
Don't
what-
just go line up.
But we were just kind of thinking it was kind of silly that some people that didn't have any reason to think they were really sick.
Or the people
We're
who are
going-
really sick, you know? I mean, just stop. If you're sick, just stop going out everywhere and infecting everybody when you're already sick. Okay.
Oh, so
There we go.
Sherry says for old-fashioned oats, pulse in a blender or food processor to make quick oats. That is what they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chop it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's true. Oops! That moment when your cookie sheet is being used for your gardening equipment. See, Tara's kitchen is not just one purpose. The baking sheet is being used as a tray for my plants, and I forgot. So I'm gonna have to use the other one here.
Cheryl says Kroger has spiral sliced ham, 97 cents a pound, boneless chuck roast, buy one get one free.
Oh, I haven't looked today to see what's on sale. Wow. Well, good. If you can get it at your store, that's great. I already have a ham that I got like 2 months ago for, I don't know, it was like 49 cents or something, and I need to bake it up, but now I was just going to save it for Easter. Nobody really eats ham much here. Mike doesn't like it that much. He eats it a little bit, but I like it, and
I like ham okay, but I'm like bacon a lot more. I'm not really fond of ham. I would choose chicken or
Bacon is
beef
the
over it
best.
any day.
Not gonna-
But bacon's another story. I would definitely eat the bacon. Bonnie says hello from Idaho.
Oh, are you okay, Bonnie? We heard. Here we were looking at houses. We are literally looking in houses in McCall.
So she's east of Boise a ways.
Oh, then you're not
But
even close.
We were looking at houses in McCall, and I think that was close to the epicenter, they said.
Yeah, actually, I was actually looking at houses in Caldwell. So I think that's crazy. And of course, most people there aren't going to have earthquake insurance. Poor people, because that's not normal.
They're having earthquake?
Yeah, they had a big earthquake up by, well, not very far from where Ellie was born.
They're on a fault line?
Guess so. I didn't know that. I think it's just the sign of the times. Matthew 24, there will be earthquakes and famines. And we are seeing it. Okay, homemade croutons. You take your bread pieces, you put some oil on it. I sprinkle my seasoned salt, which I use for pretty much every dish I ever make. Sprinkle seasoned salt on there. Then if you want, you can sprinkle an Italian type seasoning if you want. I happen to have some, so I'm gonna do that, but
Did we mention that
Then-
Mike just loves garlic?
croutons, and then, all right, hand me the garlic out of the fridge, Dave. I'll add extra garlic for Dad.
I smell lots
In
of
the
yummy
door.
garlic.
Garlic powder?
Yeah, it's in the door. And then all you do is just mix it together and bake it.
In this door?
Yep, in that door. It's a little short jar. About this
Oh.
big.
So Trinity was wondering how long
Yep.
can I keep my sour milk in the fridge and use it?
About a month. But if you can't, put it in ice cube trays and freeze it. That's what I did with my milk that was going bad.
But if it's
That's a lot of garlic.
so you can tell it goes bad because it gets a different kind of stink, right?
Yeah, so sour is not spoiled. Sour just means it's turning sour. Spoiled means it's starting to grow mold, and then it's getting really clumpy and gross. So there's a difference between sour and spoiled. And it's not going to make you sick if you eat it sour. But I would say about 2 weeks to a month. Probably a month.
She says, yes, I'm okay. The house shook, caught me off guard. Thanks for asking. We were surprised because
Wow, you felt it clear over there.
we had
East.
heard people in Boise that some of them had got it recorded on their phones and stuff like that. And then we realized it was centered in McCall, which is 2.5 hours away, right?
Yeah. Here our daughter was planning on being out there this week, and thank goodness she didn't go. But, alright, homemade croutons. Dining on a Dime cookbook, livingonadime.com. Put these in the oven and let them bake. Hopefully, oh dear. Okay. Oh shoot.
I forgot
Did
to-
anybody see what time I put in the muffins?
Well, how long do they need to be?
Let's see. Okay, I got about 5 minutes left on the muffins. All right.
You
You
put them
could
in
set it.
12
You could
minutes.
set it for 5 minutes now.
You put them in 12 minutes ago. according
did?
to the YouTube replay.
Ooh, Dave.
Wow, Dave.
Dave is the man. So guys,
just telling you. Just.
Dave.
Oh no.
Let me tell ya.
No.
So we are redoing a bunch of our products, updating them. And Dave is the man. That kid is a graphic designer. Oh my goodness, I didn't know I had such a good graphic designer under my own roof. And I have forced him into slave labor. And he is making some cool recipe printables for you guys. Oh my goodness, so excited. I'm so excited. So as you guys heard me refer to earlier, we did not meet our goal and get the books to the printer today like we were hoping. We have had, what you guys don't know is in the background, we are having like a complete and total website meltdown, to say the least. I had to talk Mike off the ledge last night during our power walk.
Thank you for putting up with me, honey.
I almost threw you in the gutter on our power walk.
What?
Poor Mike, he's having to deal with all the tech issues on the backside, and it's been a huge, oh my goodness. We switched over to a new website a couple weeks ago. It really hasn't gone right since we've done it. Then we had this meltdown. The person that was helping us isn't able to help us. And we're just having a big mess. So now we're having to completely redo our shopping cart. It's working right now, fine, for your side of it. For our side of it, it's a nightmare. But
Well, for your side of it, there's a slight pause when you go there, but some of that should be fixed when we're kind of reworking half of it to change to a different thing that's not going to be using our server. So much smoother
he's having to
system.
go, and after re-putting in a whole new website and shopping cart and all of that, now we're having to do it again. So that has delayed the proofreading of the new books and the typesetting of the new books, unfortunately. But I don't know. It's like we're at the point now where like, are we ever going to get these things done? So I'm really glad that I'm taking a new email marketing course type thing, ebook marketing course type thing. And they have she has a lot of really good ideas. And so we're going to be putting some of those into effect pretty soon, and so Dave's getting started with his graphic designs. That's the long version of that
He's
one.
really awesome at it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then there's Jack over here who's taking over the world with 3D animation while school's out.
Yes, and Mom, tell them Mom's April Fool's joke.
So she said tomorrow school's going back.
He didn't fall
And-
for it.
That was like. the
No, I
worst
didn't fall for it.
execution
He said, Mom, I know what day it is.
I said, do you know what day it is?
Don't cut yourself playing with knives, woman. Come on.
Oh, yeah. We need to be thankful. Dave stabbed himself with his pocket knife yesterday. We need to be so thankful he didn't. I need the knife, thank
I
you.
wasn't gonna lob off my finger or anything. It
Yeah,
was
you
dull.
could have lopped off your finger.
No.
Do you know what a pain that would be right now to have to go to the hospital
Dropping
and fix a
a
finger?
knife an inch away from my finger.
I'd
would
have to
not
get my
pop off
sewing
my-
kit and sew it back on myself.
I was looking for a.
Oh my goodness. You really.
Where did it go? I was gonna say this knife is certified 40% Tara safe.
Actually, probably like
Thanks.
Actually, we've
I
been.
think like 30%.
Okay, when you stick a knife in there, your muffins should come out clean. Oops. Ooh, there's. Oh, well.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
let them cool. If you don't let them cool, they're going to be
They're gonna
super
fall
crumbly.
So
But there, can I kind of. Well, that's not working. But anyway, there you go. We'll let them cool and then we'll dig in.
They're not sticking.
So
together.
for those asking, yes, we started with the muffins that Tara's just showing, and then people were asking what were you cutting. Tara made some homemade bread as a test the other day, and she didn't really like the way the test turned out, texture-wise.
Taste wise.
So she decided to make them into homemade croutons, which is really easy. So, and I've shared the link in there. I'll share it again. I need to go put it in the description because I forgot that one. Let's see. Amy T was asking, was there an earthquake? Yeah, in Idaho where we used to live,
Yeah.
there was an earthquake, and I don't know that I've ever heard of there being one there. Although other parts of Idaho have volcanic things, but
Yeah. When are we going to have a video with Mom? Probably not for 3 or 4 months at least.
she lives
She lives in another state than us, so we
she's
don't-
500
yeah.
miles from us, and so under the current circumstances, she wouldn't.
Well,
probably
it
be
could
able
be
to travel.
longer. Yeah, it could be longer at this point.
Let's see. After freezing milk, I noticed the date was March 30th, but just unfroze it, so will it be okay to use?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay. So,
Yeah, there's no fault lines anywhere near Idaho,
Bye,
See?
Roberta.
the
Have a
Lord
great
is coming
evening.
soon.
which is weird because that just never happened.
See?
And Jeanette, we're so very grateful that you two are there to talk one another off the ledge. Yes.
The
Yeah,
day
like
Mike's
what?
talking me off, then I switch, and then I'm talking him off, and this week's been a long week. Well, we just Dining on a Dime Volume 2. I have been working on writing it. I'm not exaggerating. 20 years. As soon as I got done with dining, I started the second one. But then we moved, and then dining wasn't selling. It was under a different name back then called Not Just Beans, which makes sense. Nobody knew what that name meant. But anyway, it was supposed to mean you don't have to live on beans to save money on your grocery bill. They need to cool. But the book wasn't selling, so I was like, well, why am I even doing this? So then I had worked on volume 2 of Dining on Dime for 20 years off and on. Finally, 2 years ago, I said, I'm getting this done. We're doing it. We're selling cookbooks good. Let's get volume 2 done. So for 2 years, we've been working on getting this thing finished. And I'm just about ready to poke my eyeballs out because I'm like,
The new one?
yes.
Well, part of the problem is
Like, let's just be finished with it.
in dealing with issues relating to making sure we have a usable cover on these books, we're continuing to revise that one.
So, and that's part of the problem with being self-published. When you're doing it all, there's a big learning curve. And of course, you know, we had the big printer debacle last year. And so we had to deal with printers, and we're switching printers again. And now with all this going around, who knows when we'll be able to get books, even if we do get them to the printer. So I don't know. We'll see, but
So I'm not sure if you had questions or just comments. at the beginning, a lot of people were talking about how much they love the oatmeal muffins. Christy, I love your oatmeal muffins. I made it with raisins before, and the kids devoured them. And somebody mentioned chocolate chips, and we didn't talk about that. But yeah, there are all kinds of things. I wonder if you would they be weird with coconut in that?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Barbara earlier said, I know you're making muffins. Can you tell us a good homemade disinfectant spray? Do we have a spray?
Well, yeah. I mean, just take rubbing alcohol and put it in a spray bottle and spray everything and then wipe it down. I mean, if you can find rubbing alcohol, just keep looking. It's there, guys. I found some at this grocery store not that long ago. It's out there. You just have to keep looking. And that's...
well,
okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say also, if you haven't thought about it, you might go to Home Depot or Lowe's, or I forgot what it's called in B&Q over in Europe. Those places tend to have more because the people that are running crazy and buying everything out don't think to go there.
And here's the thing. You may not be able to just walk into your store and get what you want or need right now. So you may have to go to several stores. The other day, my kid, how many stores did you hit? 3? I think he hit 3 on the way home from an appointment he had, looking for flour and sugar, because I'm in the middle of recipe testing, trying to get these books done, and now flour and sugar are gone. Well, he couldn't find flour, but he found sugar. So the next time we had to go out, we checked for flour, and voila, we happened to find flour. It's persistence. You have to keep looking, and you have to keep going, and you have to look in unconventional places like Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar, Home Depot, Lowe's, those kinds of places, not just necessarily your grocery store. And here's the thing on the homemade disinfecting wipes. I do not know what is wrong with Americans, but they cannot get along in this world without their wipes. But here's the thing, guys. Use a wash rag with soap. They said for this virus that if you just scrub your hands for 20 seconds really well, you can clean it. Well, it may not be completely 100% disinfected, but I guarantee you if you go over with soap and water and scrub things like you should, it will get a lot of it gone. Like a majority of it. So it's better to use soap and water than to use nothing at all. But don't just think you have to use rubbing alcohol. You can use hydrogen peroxide to disinfect some things. You can use bleach to disinfect things. You can use any kind of disinfectant like pre-made, like Lysol, that kind of thing. So just look, and yeah, Amish stores, Barbara said, look in unconventional places. So
let's see, I had some, Huffern in Iceland said, I love that no matter what happens in the world, you're always here. Love from Iceland. Thank you.
I thought about going to Iceland, actually.
Go visit
I
you
wanted
on our
to
next
go
trip.
visit there.
We
I
used
really
to
did.
always say that about Turid in Norway. And Iceland is kind of just a one hop over there.
As a matter of fact, I just read a book, and I didn't know it was based in Iceland, and it was based in Iceland, and I was like, oh, I should go there. All right, there is les muffins. Right there.
Ooh, it looks really good.
Answer it, just see what
They're
they
probably
say.
saying it's canceled the
Yeah.
rest of the year.
Just see what they're saying. So, let's take a taste test. Ooh.
You might have to say hello for it to talk. Oh. Ooh, Barbara says Amish stores may have flour and sugar. I didn't think about
Very
that.
good. Ooh, still hot. Hot! Ah, burning my hand. Burning my hand. Ooh.
And one thing, vinegar, it's not sufficient disinfectant. Like it,
Okay. Vinegar is not a disinfectant. Do not use vinegar as a disinfectant.
it can kill some very weak bugs, but for the most part, it's not good.
Do not
for
use
killing.
vinegar. Soap and water is better than
But
vinegar.
especially for something like
Yeah.
coronavirus,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be sufficient. Lisa wants to know, can you use almond milk in the muffins?
Yes. Sorry. Almond, soy, whatever you want. Yeah, they're super hot though. Here. Grab napkin. Yeah, you can use any of those.
Let's see. Kathy was wondering, where can you find garlic powder that doesn't have milk or gluten in it? Garlic powder has milk and gluten?
Well,
I was unaware of that.
Well, it doesn't, so it depends on if you're celiac or not. So this garlic powder that I get at Walmart says may contain traces of milk, wheat, eggs, and soy. So that means that it's been manufactured in the same facility that those products have been. I am not celiac. So when it doesn't have an ingredient that is actually wheat, I'm okay. So it just depends. But this is just pure garlic. Yeah.
Let me look. So let's see. Paul says, my wife says your Christmas ebook is awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. I forgot, there was a comment that he mentioned the other day about something that was in there that I was going to tell you about, but we kind of got muddled in other comments.
Ooh, Donna got snow in Wyoming. It's coming tomorrow for us.
We're supposed to get it here too.
75 today, 40 and snow tomorrow. No, 37 and snow tomorrow.
Whoa!
Welcome to Colorado.
Carly says, I'm so hungry right now after working in the backyard building raised garden beds today.
Ooh,
yeah.
I want to get moved so bad so I can get my garden set up. I mean, I'm going to put a garden in at this house, but this house is a pain in the rear to garden. I can't water very well. And it's just a pain to water here.
Susan and Tara, do you wear a mask in the grocery store?
No.
No, and
I just stay away from people and just sanitize my hands when I get in the car.
it's funny because I was at the doctor about a month ago for a thumb issue, and at the time they were saying that they recommend the masks for people who are sick,
Who are actually sick.
to not spread it on other people when they cough or sneeze.
Yeah, they need
But
to save the mask.
They said at the time that they don't personally believe that the masks are particularly effective in protecting yourself from getting sick from other people. So
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, if you were super at risk, you want to do everything you can. But Lisa says, your apron is so pretty. Oh, that's the
I
Pat
got
Kitchen one
this
again.
when we were in the UK. Now, this is actually an English apron by an English lady, but I got it in Dublin at the place we call the Terror of Ireland. and
I was fine once I got out of the car. This is in downtown
yeah, you were
Dublin.
shaking for 10 hours.
It was in the car.
It was
shaking.
horrible. Oh my goodness. Google Maps steered us wrong and we ended up straight in downtown Dublin. I mean, as downtown as you can get. It was horrid. People do not stay out of the middle of the road.
There's a big kind of walking mall area down by Trinity University, and there are places where it appears that cars are allowed to go, but I think that's not really intended that cars would go there. And Google took us through there. We're like, wait, what?
It was absolutely awful. Oh, by the way, guys, let me say real quick. If you're a soap maker or bath bomb maker, I have some bath bomb kits that I put together with the polysorbate. Look at these cute little Easter, spring Easter sprinkles. And then the micas for bath bombs or soap, guys. I have these sets that I had made up when I was doing mica sets for another YouTuber soap maker, and she was going to sell them, and then it ended up falling through. I have a ton of these left. You get 4 micas, the polysorbate, and the glitter, and I'm selling them all for $15, and that includes shipping. If you guys would like some, it's just going to be a grab bag of what I send you, but all the colors will match together. But email me, editor@livingonadime.com, if you guys are interested in this grab bag. It's a really good deal. I might make soap tomorrow, I'll see, but I've got a couple of different ones right there. That's the cute one. Donna helped package all of these. Thank you, Donna. But I had a few of those left, so.
So Paul said, my wife says to tell Tara, thank you. She upped her salt intake and health has improved because of it. Neurologist said it was a great idea.
Ow! Dr. Tara. Here's the thing about salt. People are cutting salt out way too much, and it's causing medical issues with low sodium. a lot of people are ending up in the hospital with low sodium because they're not taking enough salt. And if you have a medical condition and your doctor tells you you need to cut back salt, that's fine. But a lot of people who do this don't have that problem. They're just doing it because they're scared of salt. So guys, use salt. There's a reason why the Bible talks about salt so much in the Bible, because it's a good thing.
Now, if you
Anyway.
if you have a
I said that.
oh yeah,
I did my disclaimer.
gotcha.
Use your brain.
So Judy says the Lowe's here has wherever she is. I forgot where you are, Judy. Has Clorox and blends of Clorox. Yeah, I was finding that Lowe's and Home Depot have, and one of the things they have also you can only buy a certain amount, so they're not too likely to run out,
Yeah.
which is great. But the people that buy stuff there don't watch the news as much, so that's probably why. Let's see. When is Easter, Michelle? It's on the 12th of April.
Yeah.
Dennis, all our churches are closed throughout our whole province of Ontario and perhaps the rest of the country. I'm going to make muffins.
Yeah, ours is too.
Our churches are closed, but almost all the ones I know of are going to online services. Our church has done it 3 weeks in a row now. And that's really helpful because somebody was talking about shut-ins. And I was thinking, to be honest, if you're shut in, there are churches that do services online all the time.
Go to our website, go to show notes, and there's a list of Christian resources. And we have our favorite pastors on there that we listen to all the time.
In fact, I have it. If you just hover over the menu, show notes it's right underneath show notes.
Yeah. So go
yeah.
to show notes and you can find our favorite pastors and the Bibles we recommend right there.
So Marilyn said you should look into getting Jack a 3D pen.
He wants a 3D printer.
That's what I was going to say. That triggered me thinking of that.
Ugh.
So he wants a 3D printer. We haven't looked at yet what he's talking about, but there's one that he says the price is a lot lower than they used to be.
You guys should let him get
But
it.
we're just not sure
So then
if that's a
I
good
definitely
plan.
don't take it over.
Because that seems like the kind of thing
He wants
that...
to make machines and invent machines with it. And I'm like, ugh.
So the inventing machines part, we really want to encourage that in him because that seems like that's his gift. But in the past, that's the type of product where the kids would get excited about it. One of them would use their money to buy it, and then it would become a boat anchor it would permanently live on the desk in our office collecting things. So that's what we're trying to figure out what that is.
Jennifer!
Hi, Jennifer! Yay! Kathy, my church does online church all the time. Yes. Actually, we used to, for a while, we found a church that did church online all the time when we were having trouble finding a church in person.
Yeah.
And even though I think it's good to have a church in person, it's definitely a good alternative if you don't, for whatever reason, have one. So, yay. Oops. Teresa, it seems like you're like this virus and staying in hasn't really affected your life that much. You both are so positive and in good spirits.
It hasn't changed our lives
Just
at all.
what a lot of us need. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Except that Jack is home for 6 months for summer probably. Our lives have not changed. Because we work at home already, the only thing that's changed is Mike and Dave aren't going to the library at all instead of going a couple days a week. And we're just working our booties off, getting our books done, hopefully.
Taking advantage of
You
this
know,
time.
yeah, guys, pray that we can get some of this stuff done because we've had these things on our plates for so long and it's like one major catastrophe after another. We went to go do the reprint for dining and we had another major catastrophe on it. And it's like, seriously, can we not just get these projects done, get the store done, and move on? It just keeps hanging around and it won't get finished. And we're just about ready to both lose our minds.
But it's funny that it's not for the most part, our lives aren't any different. There are a few things, like we usually do go out a little bit more and get out of the house more.
Yeah.
But not really doing that so much now.
Yeah.
Although we've been walking a lot more together, like almost every day now, right?
Yep. Trying to keep our power walks up.
Oh, one thing I was gonna say, if you are a person that wears a mask in the store because you don't want to get sick, if you unless you have something that's covering your eyes also, you get the sickness directly into your eyes pretty easily too. So
It's also extremely likely if you use
I think it's not, from what I've heard, using a mask isn't necessarily going to protect you personally as much as it would if you're sick, not getting other people. But I would say in terms of infection, you can get it just as easily through your eyes. So we've seen people with masks but nothing covering their eyes. And
Cindy, what is one way you feel you could save on your budget? Food, insurance, utilities? You mean us personally? Is she saying us personally that we could save on our budget?
well, since it's in all caps, I assume it's a question for us.
Well, if you're saying what we could cut a lot back. We are a whole lot more lenient now that our income up and we're completely debt free. We do a lot of things now that we didn't do before. So like I get a weekly massage to help with my fibromyalgia. Before, I only did it occasionally or when I was in a car accident. I buy food, even though our grocery bill is only about $350, $400 a month. I buy all kinds of food that we don't need to buy. I mean, we buy Hot Pockets and we buy Goldfish and we buy name brand Cheerios, but I buy it all on sale. Like the Goldfish, I only buy them when they're 99 cents and they're cheaper than the store brand Goldfish. But I mean, before, I didn't even buy those at all. We did not buy those at all. I'll buy our utilities. We're not as careful as we used to be with our utilities. We will keep our heat higher in the winter and keep our air conditioner a little bit lower in the summer. But we're completely debt free and we have the money to pay for that now. And even though it's not a ton, it's enough that, you know, we've relaxed our lives a little bit. We have, instead of just having liability on our car insurance, we now have full comprehensive, which has actually paid for itself, but with all our hailstorms that we've had. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
we could really cut in a hole pretty much everything.
We're
but
still way more frugal than most people.
yeah,
But there are things where we've discovered that, man, you know, paying for something is less of a problem than spending our time on it. Like it used to be where our time was, we had a lot more time than money. And now we're finding with a lot of what we're trying to do with the business, we don't have as much time to fiddle with little things. So we tend to pay people to do projects for our business that we wouldn't have to. We tend to pay for paid plugins for our website because there are actually people that can do tech support for us. And with our personal things like the massages and stuff like that, which we've totally not done at all in the past at a lot of times. Or like, we don't do it that much, but when we're not in crisis mode as a nation, then kids and I have gone to some movies, which we completely stopped doing for a long time. So there's a lot of stuff like that. I was going to say heat and air. We don't really run the heat even still. Like
no,
today
I mean, we don't run it like other people, but like my mom keeps her heat at like 55 degrees or something in the winter. Well, I'm not going to do that. That's just, that's way too cold for me. But yeah, how can you relax financially with the scary economy? The economy has not been scary for years. I mean, things really have turned around in the last 3.5 years for the economy, and it's doing great.
So
but
she's
now,
talking about Elizabeth saying that watching my retirement.
well, that's what she's going to say. But now, you know, this is where you have to be prepared. So your retirement may be completely tanking, but it will probably go back up. If it doesn't go back up, then our whole financial system is completely collapsing, and then you've got bigger problems than worrying about your retirement, to be perfectly honest. But it will probably go back up. May not, but in that case, it's going to be completely collapsing. But here's the thing. This is why for retirement, you need to make sure you are completely 100% debt-free, including your home. Completely. You should not go into retirement without being completely debt-free. That means do not fund your children's college if you are not completely debt-free and ready for retirement. That money should be going to save for your retirement. Your kids can pay for their own college. That's not your responsibility. If everything's taken care of and you're set up, go ahead and pay for your kids' college after all that is set up. But until then, you shouldn't do that and things like that.
One thing I would say to be hopefully encouraging to you, if your retirement fund is going down, if you have a retirement in something that invests in the stock market, that market will come back when this is over.
Yeah.
It may take a while to get to the 29 or 30,000 where it was, because that was a pretty high place to begin with. But it'll recover substantially, probably within 6 months or a year after this is over.
Probably, yeah. And Elizabeth,
because this is a temporary thing, and the thing with the coronavirus is, even though it seems really bad right now, once a certain number of people get it, it just can't sustain itself anymore. And so at some point, it's going to burn out. And usually on most diseases, it's a couple seasons. But the worst of it is usually over a short period.
So Elizabeth says that's great if you're in your 40s, but when you're in your 70s, time is not on your side. Well, Elizabeth, you should have been preparing before your 70s. If you're in your 70s now, you should have been thinking about that, several years ago. My mom is in her 70s. She has been living on $750 a month for more than 35 years, almost 40 years. She's been living on $750 a month, completely debt-free, 100% debt-free. Her house is paid off, everything, and she's been doing that on $750 a month because she's frugal and she's always done that. If you were working and you were spending money like a crazy person, that's the consequences that you face for the choices you made then, unfortunately.
But somebody else says that I'm going to need my retirement in the next year. Within the next year, it's probably going to be close. It's probably going to be significantly improved. So within the next year, it will probably not be such a catastrophe. What's making this more of a catastrophe than anything is everyone's panicked and reacting to it in such a way that, like, the sickness itself is bad, but a lot of the panic is driven by watching too much news and paying attention to a lot of things that you can't control in your life. So I would say, because a lot of the things that are happening, they're real problems. Like the stock market is really going down, but it's going down because people panic because of what they see on the news. So I would say, I know it's hard, but especially if you don't need it for a year, by then it probably won't be a big problem for you, and it'll probably be improving again.
And here's something that came to my mind.
She wasn't talking about herself.
Here's something that came to my mind just right before the show. It has been 90. It's been 90 years since we had a depression, a real depression in this country. We've had recessions, but quite frankly, I think those recessions were a bunch of baloney, if you ask me. Just my 2 cents. But anyway, we haven't had a real depression for 90 years where it was actually really bad. And the problem is, people don't think they're going to be able to make it through. You know what? Those people lived through the depression. It wasn't fun. It wasn't pretty. They had to cut back on every single thing. They did not buy toilet paper. They did not go buy cake mixes and brownie mixes at the store. They bought only what they needed. Very bare essentials. They moved all over creation looking for work, getting different housing that they could afford. You will live through it. Even if we have a depression, you'll live through it. You really will. I know you don't feel like you will. And your life isn't going to be that fun. And you may have just worked the last 60, 80 years of your life and you're like, I've worked all these years and now I have nothing. Well, unfortunately, that's just the way life goes sometimes, and it stinks, but, you will live through it.
Well, and that's the thing that I think it's important right now to keep in mind, that this is temporary. And if it's directly affecting you, like if you know people, like, well, I Judy said I'm in New York and lost a coworker. If you know people who are directly affected by it, definitely that's a pretty serious thing. And it is important for us all to be careful and stay away from other people and do the things that they're asking us in that sense. But I wouldn't be afraid of the things you can't control. And I wouldn't keep watching the news, because the news is mostly telling you things that are about things you can't control, and other people's jobs are to worry about those things. And for you, it would be, it's going to cause you more anxiety than not.
Kathleen bought a bidet today, also known as the Invigorator 2000. So it's been a few more days. How are you feeling about it?
It's okay.
That's not what you told me this morning. You had a few choice words this morning.
I didn't have choice words. What are you talking about? I don't say choice words.
He said it'll blow the right off of you.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Yeah, Dorothy said check office supply stores like Office Max and Staples. They might have disinfectant wipes and disinfectant.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty common now.
And Big Lots. Big Lots is great, too.
Amanda says teaching my 11-year-old to bake French bread tonight since we can't buy
Yay.
it. And we can make it for 33 cents a loaf.
Very good.
Actually, there's a bread that Tara made that wasn't intended to be French bread, but it sure tasted like it.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. Vinna was wondering what kind of muffins we made. We made oatmeal
Oatmeal.
muffins. Ooh, are they ready for me to have one?
Yeah, probably they're cool enough now. Yeah, so Jamie just said that was the school calling, that the school's closed till April 30th.
What?
Yeah.
I thought they had already decided that, but
Oh, for us.
Well, the
just
president
check-
said April 30th, he suggests, and then the governor made a thing today saying April 30th. So,
Oops.
Gabby, hi from Canada. Keeping safe here. No need for toilet paper, showers enough. Yes.
see, there you go.
Mm.
Should
Mhm.
still be hot.
Yum.
Yeah, this side is really hot. Thank you.
Okay. So mine was a little too liquidy. It's still crumbly. I should have added just a bit more flour, but that's okay. Oh dear, I just burned dinner. Oh, I really burned dinner. Oh shoot.
Hmm.
Okay, well now we're having smoked chicken for dinner. Holy cow. Open the window, Dave. Open the window. Ugh. Open the door. Open the door.
Michelle says, my mom says they're trying to prevent a depression. Also, we have more technology right now and more kinds of jobs are being invented. Actually, it's interesting. There are some interesting things coming out of this to see how people do with working at home and how schools do with school at home and
Yeah.
all those kinds of things. It would
Yeah.
be interesting to see.
Yeah. We actually our business is doing really well. Because when the economy tanks, people come to us looking for answers. So I know I
Sorry.
burned the chicken.
The smoked chicken. That's hilarious. Sorry. I'm sure it'll taste great, but yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Oh,
so-
Paula from Canada says, I love the fact parents are forced to spend more time with their kids with the 2-income families. Yeah. We're finding, it's funny because I'm hearing a lot more laughter with the kids all playing together in the living room. And it's funny because it includes Dave, who's 16, and 16 is not usually an age of hanging out with your siblings.
But you love your bro, don't ya?
And Ellie's 21, and she's kind of had her mind on wanting to move. And so all three that are here are,
Still talking to each other.
they're seeming to have a lot more fun together than they were having before. So, Lizette, Google wartime garden and kitchen to see what the UK went through in World War II. It's
Yeah.
true. One thing I would say, instead of paying attention to the news that you can't control, I would do everything you can where you are, and we're trying to just remember to be thankful that this is nothing near what a lot of people have dealt with.
Before in the past, yeah.
Even in the 1940s, it was really, really bad for a lot of people.
Yep. We've been living in luxury the last 70 years. Every time a recession happens, I just want to punch the TV because I'm like, people, you just you don't even know what real problems are. I mean, I guess I had great grandmas that actually had to live through the Depression and then live through the Dust Bowl, and it was awful. I mean, it was absolutely awful. And the plague of grasshoppers and the plague of jackrabbits. I mean, it was just awful, the stuff that they had to deal with. She had to go a mile in a wagon to haul water in the desert of Colorado, in southeast Colorado. So I guess for me, it would just be, well, we just deal with it as it comes along. So
it is one thing we've discovered. Oh, I mean, besides knowing that God's in control of it, which we're confident in, and that helps us greatly. But it's also just recognizing, if we focus on, it's good to be aware of what's happening, and it's good to be aware of things like, staying away from other people. But other than that, we like to focus on what's in our sphere that we can control, and what can we do to pass the time in a productive way without paying attention, without paying attention to the things that we can't change. Because I hear people saying, did you hear this in the news, or did you hear that in the news?
Nope.
But the kinds of things that they're asking about, they're tragic, but they're not happening in I'm not saying, if you're in New York, this could be different. But for the most of the people that tell me that, I think this isn't actually happening in your life. So it's good to be aware that this is happening, that bad things are happening, but what can you do about it? And then beyond that, live your own life. And I think our economy would be going down less. It would still be going down because companies are sending people home because they're supposed to close their doors for now. But it is for now. So if we can hold out until it comes back again, which will be after the sickness is mostly past, then everything will be fine. But our mental state, how we look at what's happening, can make it worse for us and for other people. So that's kind of the only thing I would say on that. But
Jessica, we don't need proofreaders right now, but I'll keep you in mind.
Lori, Mike and Tara have been a silent watcher and bought 2 books, but watch you guys on this virus gets hubby going for me, watch media, because I have OCD and that's all I do is clean.
Well, you can come to my house.
One thing about the OCD is if you're at your own house, hopefully it's more comforting to know that you're not bringing things in and out so much.
I think I just need an assistant just to walk around following me all day and cleaning up after my messes.
And write down everything you say so you don't forget it.
And write down everything I say so I don't forget it.
And organize your day out for you.
Yeah, breezy breeze. It's normal for us since we homeschool, but now I can't go anywhere and that's not normal. That's an issue with us too, but unfortunately I think we just have to just get through that part of it. Although here in Colorado you can still go places for exercise or that kind of thing, but the requirement is you're supposed to maintain your distance from anyone else that might be there. Although if you go to parks and things, you can walk around and do stuff, but things like playgrounds and picnic tables and stuff are closed.
Yes.
So.
All right, guys, please visit us at livingonadime.com. Check out our Dining on a Dime cookbook. Check out Ellie's goatmilkgifts.com if you need some wonderful soap and goat milk cream. She has goat milk soap and goat milk cream. She's having her spring sale, spring 15, goatmilkgifts.com. livingonadime.com. Go check it out. And hopefully we will have good news we're going to make progress tomorrow on Friday, aren't we?
On the website of the book.
We're going to finish something.
Yes.
We are finishing something this week. Something is going to be done.
Yay.
And fixed.
Yay.
All right.
Thanks a lot for joining us, everyone. And like I said, don't watch too much news and think of some awesome things you can do in your life in the next couple days. And hopefully that'll help you not focus too much on the problem.
Yep. Breezy Bree, you need to just hit the notifications and there's a little bell. Hit that to receive notifications.
Jody just made the best beef stew in my Instapot. No.
Wow.
Yay, awesome.
Good. All right, guys.
Thanks
we'll
a
see
lot.
you on Monday.
See you then. Bye.